Getting into it, the account. So here we are, about $200 worth, which is perfect. I'm going to be sticking with this until it really grows, yada yada yada. Having a hard time sticking with the small account. What I did on Friday is I swung NVIDIA calls, right? I have two of those, and I swung AMD calls, right? So AMD has earnings next week, first week of August. So I'm actually expecting a run up. And this is wrong. Okay, here we go. I have earnings week for NVIDIA calls on the watch list. I want to buy these today. They're $23 now. So I'm just looking at it. Once I get a proper entry, I'll get into that. Hopefully it doesn't cost me more than $30. And I can run that up. And then Tesla, I'm just watching. I think it's going to be too expensive for the portfolio. This watch list is down 41% since I added. I don't hate $81, but it's already gapped this morning. So we will have to see. What am I focused on? Really, these chips. What else this week? I would say hood. So if we look at the day, honestly, we should be able to do, let me see. Yeah, day, week, month. Okay, so hood. So digging this inside week. 3-2 continuation on the day. I honestly hope that it has a bit of a rough day today and I can get in like on a really decent actionable signal or something. Because I don't love this gap up. So, but I do like this inside week back up through the highs. So I'm interested in hood. Palantir is Palantir, like catch it if you can. Maybe a little pricey for the portfolio. AVGO is definitely too much for the port. SMCI, hate to miss this really. SMCI can like get up to here in this gap that we have. I don't know what Carvana's doing. It looks great to the downside, to be honest. Adobe, these tickers I'm just not that interested in because of the price of them. Hate to have missed DDOG. I think Spotify has earnings, not interested. MU. Nope. Nope. Oklo's Oklo as well, you know, get in if you can. TEM. Similar feeling. I really want TM to put in this hammer month and then we can really hang out. I'm trying to find something to be interested in today. Nothing is screaming my name. SPY, of course. I wish I would have swung. I wish I would have swung everything. Just want to clean up these charts a bit. I'm sure Qs look very similar. Ooh, AMD's capping, what is that? $3. Yeah, boy. So let's figure out where we want AMD to go. What the heck? And that way. So this is the actual month open. Pretty filthy chart. Let's see. Did it hit that weekly target? No, it barely missed it. Interesting. So monthly target is up here. This is where I'm looking to go this week. I may be too far out of the money, to be honest. Because I think I'm in the 185s. Probably too far. What to see. And then I guess, you know, 187 is not impossible. What is this? 187.28 would be the next monthly target. I mean, I'd be happy to hit that. I just want to see what's going on here on the day. Okay, cool. This is a gap that I don't think that we filled actually, which gives me even more confidence. So let's see, here to here. Yeah, we haven't filled that. So yeah, I feel even better about this going to the 180s. But for sure, at least the 174.58, which is the top of that gap that was not filled. If I do this, yeah. Fun. Okay, good to know. Nothing but space on this guy. Any other gaps up here? Okay. So yeah, definitely looking at AMD. Affirm. Gotta wait on this guy. Don't know what Affirm is doing lately. It'll come back. Costco. You know, I don't hate this to the downside. Like down, like 187 or not 871. I've just been missing Costco the last few weeks on these downside moves. It makes me feel nervous. Probably too expensive. Okay, we talked about Hood and Palantir. Okay, great. That's it on that. So really just managing swings. That was probably a really boring morning flip through. I know that chips and stuff. So, ooh, this is fun. I can't remember how much TSM costs. I haven't traded in a long time. I hope it can fit in this portfolio. What else? We looked at MU. Okay, SMH. Okay. Not in love with that inside month. Okay. And then someone mentioned this ticker to me recently. It's so cheap. I can't bring myself to do that. Traded this last week. What a winner. Honestly, don't hate it for more. We'll see how we go. Okay, that is that on the day. So I will be watching AMD and NVIDIA on the Fiverr at open just to see how we go. Likely won't even get out of these to be fair. Oh, I want to talk about Tesla. This dickhead. So I showed you the swing that I put on the watch list because I was not swinging this over the weekend because I'm a scaredy cat. This gap needs to be filled this week. And you know what? I want to put it on something like this. These time frames. So we have the day, we have the 3 week, we have this double inside month. So really, ideally, we have this double inside month that stays inside, right? And then we can get this little arrow that I've drawn, right? So this arrow should really be like this. Well, let me move it. Should be like this, right? Because this was down, this is up-ish, and then we come back through. That's what I'm looking for on Tesla. But I really need this to stay double inside month. So all trades on Tesla, I mean, it's a get in, get out. Don't blow your account up on a Tesla trade. But that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm waiting on. So this is probably a next week thing. And then ideally we can keep the week inside, right? So we have a 3-1 week, double inside month. and we'll see what, we get on the day for that. But that's what I'm looking at on Tesla. Okay, this video is long enough. Something to talk about with the swings, because I always get asked about my strike prices and stuff. The reason why I went out like $20 on AMD, the only reason why, is because it has earnings, not this week, but next. So the contracts are a bit juiced, and the likelihood of a run up into earnings is high on a ticker like this, right? Ideally, you want to be like $10, max $12 out. If there's no earnings, there's no catalyst. Because we know that these tickers can do $10 in a week. So what is this? We'll say from the lows, 133 to 147, right? Boom. Easily get your 10 to 12 bucks. 141 to 161, that is $20. If you want to do just open to close, 144 to 157, right? So I know that this can move $10 in a week. So that's fine. Between your $10 to $12, 20 bucks is excessive. That's why I also mentioned like, I may be a little too far. But again, earnings changes that. That's why I'm only about $10 out on NVIDIA, right? I think I'm maybe 12. When I got in, I think I was 10, and now I'm 12 because I'm in the 185s. And again, right? If we pull up the week, I have no doubt. Look at these weeks. I have no doubt NVIDIA can do $10 in a week. 142, 157. What is this from the lows? 151, 161. Like it's fine. So that's where I want to be. I want to end up in the money by Friday, ideally by like Wednesday, but can't all be winners. So that's just a little bit of info on the swings. If I was swinging something like Hood, I wouldn't want to be more than $5 out of the money. And then we can look at Hood's been having crazy weeks, but it's just not at that point yet, right? So we have 77 to 83, right? So you want to be within like that $5, maybe $6 range on something like Hood. But yeah, I just wanted to explain that bit. Okay, we are off to the races. This is where we're sitting. Boom, boom, boom. I need this to be like 500% before I care. I actually may add to NVIDIA. Super cheap. But yeah, this is a better view right here. This is what we're looking like. I'm going to add to NVIDIA to these 185s, actually. Ooh, wee, let me in. Damn. Moving too quick. That is unfortunate. Nope. There we go. Let me in. Perfect. We talked about SMCI. Let me see if I can get in. And then I'm going to have to relax on entries because of the size of this portfolio. SMCI is so expensive. Well, relatively. $67. I'm going to have to wait for something more obvious. Hate what NVIDIA is doing. We'll live through it. I'm going to have to do something less expensive on SMCI, which just means getting further out of the money. And I need NVIDIA. Oh, that's an old target. To not cross this. As long as NVIDIA doesn't flip the day red, we will be okay. AMD doesn't give a damn, which I love. AMD is up 100%. I need my mouse to work. There we go. Glad I didn't pay a shit ton for SMCI. So I don't want that to flip the day green. Or sorry, red. So what I'm going to do with AMD, when we hit ADR, I'm going to move my stops, right? We can see ADRs here. Again, I want it to be at like 500% before I care. Let me show you. So we're at $50 on the day. not bad. About 30% on the port, not bad at all. So yeah, want to be sure to not give gains back, okay? Number one thing. Number two thing, I really want this to run up. So that's part of the reason why you have multiples, right? So I have multiple contracts on both AMD and NVIDIA. So when AMD hits ADR, I'll be pretty pleased and pretty happy to move my stops, because I know that regardless, I'll have a runner. What I don't want is this to like aggressively fall back down, right? Because we were at 100%, now we're at 79. So we're just sitting, waiting, wishing, hoping, looking for a friend kind of situation. But I'm not worried about it. AMD should hit here, so we can even put an alert. Come on. There we are with that. SMCI, don't do that to me, baby. SMCI, I'm down like $7, 25%. Usually a great time to cut. 25% is a good time to cut. I'm going to give it a little bit of time just because we just opened. But this is also why, especially with the portfolio like this, don't just jump into shit, right? I just kind of jumped into SMCI. I looked at it a little bit before. Like that's not the play. That's not how we want to operate. Where is my ADR for NVIDIA? And why do I not see it? Don't love that. So AMD is at ADR. What does this mean? This means I need to be moving my stops. We're at $57 on the day, 29%, not bad. We just hit ADR. That means don't be a dick. And by that I mean don't let this go too far against you. All right, stops are in. And I'm waiting on SMCI just because of the day, you know, like I want the day to stay green, so I'll just hold it. And then AMD, I'll put something like here just so I know. If I get kicked out of one, no big deal. But if I get down this low, then I'll know that I may need to make an adjustment. But ideally, you know, I can hold at least one of these all week for AMD. Boom, just got kicked out of one, which is upsetting because that was weird, but that's all right. Looking good. I did mention that I wanted to, good God, I wanted to get the 215s for next week. They were only 23 cents this morning and now they're 43. So that is a no-go. I'm going to do a little bit of risk here and get the 195s for $14 just so I can stay on budget and I can also have an extra runner. NVIDIA is not doing what I want. Okay, here's my ADR. There we go. Hey, buddy. Let's do this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on. Ooh-wee. Very disappointed to have gotten kicked out. But you know, play it smart. Because now I'm at 150% on those. I think I got out at like 100%. Worst things can happen. Right now, we're just trying to grow. That's the point. So, because of the size of my portfolio, you hit ADR, you have to do something at this target, right? Okay, fine. I got kicked out. Worst things can happen. We're just going to keep moving along, okay? This is a monthly target I talked about this morning. Let's kill it today. That would be amazing. Let me put an alert on it. Ding, ding, ding. Winner on AMD. Love to see it. SMCI looks like it's coming back. We can also put an alert there. NVIDIA, it's not weak. It's just at all-time highs, which is just a harder area to blow through, which is why AMD is a lot stronger. Whoa. That is not what I wanted to copy. All right. Create. All right, so we just opened. Let them open. frankly, we can have NVIDIA do that. Now we're only at $50, but it could be worse. Okay. Cool. I have pretty much nothing more to say. Actually, that's not true. Looking at hood, give it up. So, would love for hood to put in this inside fiver and just let us ride the back of this horse to the highs. You know, maybe a better entry would have been off the 3. Let's see. God damn. Yep. That was your entry that you wanted here on hood. I'm going to chase it. Well, I'm going to see if my portfolio will let me chase it. The thing about this is hood is going to give me another entry sometime. Some way. Oh my God, hood is expensive. When did that happen? Good thing I have shares. Yeah, I'm not trading that. Good God. $5 out of money is like $300. When did that happen on hood? I don't know who they think they are. They can have that. 5s. So again, as I've mentioned, I want to look at the 5-minute for the first 15 minutes of the day. And then the rest of the day, I don't really want to be bothered with it. Good God, AMD. Terrible exit. Terrible exit. So what I'm seeing is my stops were just too tight, right? So a couple things can happen when you're at ADR. Let's talk about that. Don't do that, NVIDIA. 1 minute. Don't do that. That is so unnecessary. All right. How much am I in? Okay. Not the end of the world, but definitely don't love what's going on. So I will give it to the daily flip, because that's my daily open, right? Makes sense? Cool. Because we've already triggered the week. Really don't need that to be doing all that. And then SMCI, same daily open. Hopefully NVIDIA gives us this beautiful fiver to just keep sailing. What was I going to mention? Okay, so ADR. I just put my stops in because I'm not trying to take no losses. But I've talked about this before. A few things you can do at ADR. Ooh-wee. Don't be that guy, AMD. Thought we were friends. So when you hit ADR, you can just take your profit immediately, right? Or you can wait for the fiver to close, right? Had I waited, I would have made more profit. Or when you get there, you can put your stops in. If it hits your stop, it hits your stop, right? What we don't want to happen is for us to be losing money, right? So if we come up here and I just take my profit, fine, who cares? If I come up here and I set a stop and it triggers it, also, you know, who cares? Like, we're doing our best out here. We can't be too upset about that. And that's partly because of how much money that we're trading with, right? We don't want to give up really any of our profits, any of our gains. And then we can take bigger risks once we have, you know, I want to say $1,000, but if it's a small port, I'm not sure what people are feeling about funds. So like, once you get to like, I don't know, $800 maybe, you can start taking those bigger risks of like, all right, I'm gonna let my fives close, and you can sort of move in that direction. But yeah, I just don't want anyone trading with fear. Stops help with that. So NVIDIA's gonna turn around for us. Come on, baby. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I know I'm not trading Tesla on this portfolio, but this looks fun. It's a double inside month on Tesla though, so no need to be a hero. That's one thing, you know, you just got to remember, especially with the amount that you have to trade with, there's no need to be a hero. I have like $60 left on the day. Super glad I didn't pay $60 for SMCI, you know. It's down 25%, so again, we're at that spot, but that's only a $7 loss. I'm quite happy to just hold it and see how we go. I'm also pleased that, you know, didn't just jump into hood, right? So these things, you know, not having as much to trade with sometimes can help limit and help make better trades, because it makes you, you know, take a pause and think longer about, is this a trade I want? X, Y, and Z, you know, You have to go through all of that in your brain. So, looking good. AMD, you know, I said I want them at 500. We're at 154. 168, pardon me. And this was that one that I bought, you know, I said I'm going to buy another one for like $14. So that's that. Yeah. I could be finished for the AM session. Let's go, NVIDIA. Show them who you really are. Palantir is a temptress. Yeah, I could be done for the morning session. Tesla's also a temptress. Let's see. If I had more money, what would I do? Let's see. Oh, I would absolutely wait for this 15 hammer to close and attempt to get in here. If I were trading with some dollar bills, because I want to fill this gap, right? I'll put it on the watch list so you can see how that would work. But yeah. New 15ers in 10 seconds. Would love that. NVIDIA, I'm just like not going to let anything scare me out of that. Don't love this, right? Don't love that this is closing like that on the 5 after I've hit ADR. Where's my next target? I have this monthly target, and then I have this target 1 here. But also, right, I'm kind of chilling, not doing anything crazy. This is, see, there's that Tesla. I'm going to put it on the watch list now from that. Unless I can find something I can afford. Which would be lovely. But it's Tesla, so impossible. It's at 319 now. I'm going to put the 335s on the watch list. Those cost $219. So, needless to say, I'm debating. No, I'm not. I'm not debating that. I thought I was going to debate to buy 350s on Tesla. No need to be a hero. So, Tesla trigger that 15. You just got to let that ride. Knowing Tesla. Oof, the 360s. That's so far away. I just want to trade it. Like, I just want to trade Tesla. That will come. That will come. The time is not now. That will come for this portfolio. Oh my word. It's going to go. Tesla's going to go. Okay. So now I just need to stop looking at it. Which is easier said than done. Okay. Ba-da-ba. Alright. NVIDIA. Show them what we're working with. AMD, I can imagine this actually coming back through to ADR. So, there's that on AMD. And yeah. Can't be mad at like 30% on the day. I would love that to be about 50%. So, that's what we're going to shoot for. This is that Tesla call this morning. I think it was down like 50% before. Wasn't it? I don't know why this isn't moving. Okay, there we go. 113. Yeah, that's 14. Cool. AMD looks like it is. Oh man, SMCI. Okay, I gotta focus on SMCI for a second. Is this a terrible trade? Terrible is aggressive. It's just early. You know, you really want these to go. It looks like we have this crazy. Okay. So it gapped up. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking. I'm gonna keep my stop at the flip of the day. Because no one SMCI, you get out now and then 40 minutes later, you're full of regret. So I'm just going to let this thing ride. Make sure I copy the right bloody thing. There's T2 on SMCI. Because really haven't risked that much. And I have a really substantial potential gain. So that's what I want there on SMCI. NVIDIA, ADR, then I have my T1s and T2s. So what I'm doing now is I'm just setting my alerts so that I can go do something else. There's no need for me to sit here at this computer. So NVIDIA. I'm not going to make a move until a couple things happen. This, if it goes down here, then maybe I'll shave a few off. If it goes up here, then I'm going to put stops in somewhere. Okay. And I can put ADR. Sometimes I do ADR like this. ADR 1, and then I'll put ADR 2. And so I have 4 targets on the day, right? I have these ADRs and then I have these orbs. So sometimes I'll put like ADR 1 of 4, ADR 2 of 4, T1 3 of 4, T2 4 of 4. So then I know like that's really how far I'm going on the day. So if you want to do something now, oh shit. Look at this bad boy go. All right. I said this shit because I saw this 200%. Again, now you start to sort of feel this regret on your exit. But that's okay. We're growing. We're growing a portfolio here. So nothing to be too frustrated about. This is a really fun gain as well. Now I just need AMD to catch up. Ooh-wee. So now the trick is to not get scared out, right? If I want to hold this all week, which I do, or at least to 500%, the trick is, if this goes back, so it's at 259 right now. If this goes back to 220, do I get out? Do I not? Right? So that's the conversation that you'd start to have with yourself as you're growing a portfolio. If I had multiple contracts, then maybe, yeah, I get out at a few at 220 or 230, whatever I said, right? And I just keep letting it roll, keep letting it go. Let green get greener. Like, don't get shaken out, things like that. Obviously, now it's a lot easier said than done because I want this portfolio to do well. Right now I'm saying and thinking because I don't know if I should add more to AMD. Ah, shit. I wanted to get into next week AMD. Now I'm going to have to wait on that. Oh, I'm finding that very frustrating. I'm thinking. Shit. The 215s are really where I want it to be. I don't want to be too much further away. Okay. So now I'm going to have to wait for some sort of pullback. God, I can't believe I forgot that. All this chatting with you imaginary people. God damn. Okay. I just need to think. Okay. I'm going to relax a little because I'm feeling a little bit of frustration and that's never helpful. Why is this happening? Oh, we're about to have a flip. Okay, that all makes sense. SMCI. See, that's why you just got to let this baby just do its thing. Get into SMCI and look away. If you can, run away. Yeah, SMCI, don't give a fuck about nobody. That's that. Okay, NVIDIA, also okay. I'm in those. I think I should probably be in the 180s, but 185 will have to do. SMCI just hit ADR, just blew through ADR. Look at this baby. That's also the power of like not watching these little fibers. And then Tesla, let's talk about this because I don't want to talk about AMD because I'm feeling frustrated. Good God. So let's do this. Why is this doing it like this? I added... What the hell is this thing doing? Why is it only showing 1? I don't know why it's doing that, because I don't know how to use the desktop of Robinhood apparently. But this should also show the Tesla 355 that we talked about off that 15er. I said if I had more money, what would I do? And then we saw this 15er on... Oh, God damn it. Sorry for swearing so much. Kind of. Remember this 15er? I said we do this hammer 15er to get in, right? At that point, that triggered... It was at 219, and now it's at 294, right? Like, I want to trade Tesla so badly. But this happens all the time, and this will happen. By the time we get to next week, we'll have enough money to trade Tesla. So that's just one of those got to keep living situations. As far as AMD, fuck. Just watching this. So I wanted, you know, those 215s, they're up 170%. That's the power of paying attention. Keeping your head out of your ass. Okay. Because if I can get into next week cons, ooh boy, I'm going to have a great week on this portfolio. Okay. So instead of wasting time about what could have been, let's talk about what is. SMCI went up 14%, hit ADR, and what did I do? Not put stops in, which is a mistake on my part. That's not a good thing, right? AMD, do I have an alert on this? Okay, perfect. So would love to see that. NVIDIA, just hanging on. Okay. You know, I said I want to be up 50%. We're up 43. So got a little ways to go on this. Would love to see some real boss movement. Yeah, not pleased with 43. So looking at, you know, I feel okay about 50. But the more I say 50, the more I'm thinking like probably closer to 70 is what we want to see. So I will update you when there is something to update. In the meantime, that is my AM session. The PM session, I will be waiting on 15ers and things to trade. NVIDIA's putting in an inside 15er. I actually don't need to be notified unless it comes back down here, but I'm going to put something there. NVIDIA's going to have its time. I'm not too worried about it. AMD, on the other hand, really not worried about this either. So I got into the 195s. If those can do 1,000% this week, I'll be quite pleased. Probably should have bought more, but who knew? Who knew? I did. I knew. Fucking annoying. Yeah, I want to do like 10 grand in 4 weeks. So that means that I need to be smart. All right, and what are we looking at? 47%. And I am officially closing out my AM session and gonna go, I don't know, probably go surfing. All right, ciao. We're up 50%. I just wanted to mention that. It went up to like 60 something, but that's okay. Because AMD went all the way up here, so it was like at the 60 something range. SMCI is on a tear, which we love to see. And NVIDIA's just out here hanging. I'm not too worried about this guy. But anyway, it was at like 60 something, but we're gonna be happy with the 50s. I really do want to be in the 70s. But that's okay. Also SPY. Oh, man, SPY is making me think about doing things like... Hello? What the fuck? Okay. Cool. Double inside 15s on SPY. This is in my way. Would love for that to close. Ooh. Let me look at what the 30. Oof. Ooh. This is exciting. Would love for this to close double inside. Honestly, triple inside 15, inside 30 to trigger the hour, and then just off the charts. Damn, should I stick around? 0-day spies can be so fun, especially when you've already made money. Look at SMCI. Let's go, baby. Ba-da-ba. All right, SMCI is showing us why we should never doubt it. So we have T1. Let's mark our T2. Now I do wish I would have spent $60 in SMCI. Isn't that funny? No, I don't. That would have been a terrible hold. Come on. All right. Oh my goodness. Anytime you feel ready, I'll be right here. Come on. There we go. Don't love what NVIDIA's doing. What does this mean on a higher time frame? Probably an inside something. Ooh. What the hell? Okay. Definitely don't want my 15er to go against me. If it does, I don't know. I may have to have a think. I'm not down too much on it. It's only down 3%. But I just don't like that it's doing that. What's up? That's annoying. This is also the benefit of not spending too much on contracts. Good God. I gotta stick with the things I say. AMD is up 340%. And I said I don't care until it's at 500, but then I took profit super early. That's okay. You know, SPY, if you do it, I'm doing it. All right, SPY. I'm getting into 0 days. I don't want to pay too much. 640s? That seems reasonable. The $15. I'm just going to buy one because this is a I should be finished trading the open, but here I am still trading the open. I need SPY to get to ADR. So that is where I will exit. This is a 0 day, right? So I need to be willing to take a crazy loss, like 60, 70%. I just don't want SPY to flip the day red. So I'll put my stop at daily open because it's still so early in the day. Ba-da-ba. We are up how much on our portfolio? 52%. I don't know what AMD thinks it's doing, but I guess I eventually will have to live with the 5er against me. And this is where it gets tricky, ladies and gentlemen. With AMD, what do you do, right? We've hit this monthly target. My next target is not that far, but it is a ways. All right, this is my final. T2 on the day. What do you do? I'm not nervous about it. I'm just being a dick. You're going to have a 5er against you eventually. Okay. But everything else is kind of moving. So I am going to debate what I do. It was up 300%. Now it's at 222. And that's the moment that I was talking about earlier, right? When you're up, do you let yourself get nervous and scared and like, let me just take my profit? And you know what? That's a fine strategy. You can't be upset with 220%, right? Or, you know, if you have multiples and yeah, you take it right at this target. Or you just let it ride, which is what I'll do. But I want to be cautious not to get too confident. I can always get back in. Well, shit, at this point, I don't think I can. I don't think I can afford to get back in. That's funny and upsetting. I could probably buy the 190s. I'm in the 185s now. I could buy 190s. I don't really want to do that. So that's a note on AMD. But yeah, I'm not going to let that push me out. All right. SPY's at 14%. Hopefully we can get, close to... let me put something here. Hopefully we can get SPY to like 300%. That'll be really fun. And then in the future, right? Like what we're doing now is sort of billing callous. So I bought one SPY contract. 200, 300% on that, $15. It's not gonna, change the world. But I'm building callous, right? Because the next time I can buy 2 contracts, and the next time I can buy 5, and then 10, right? And then 300% on 10 SPY contracts is going to start changing the world in terms of my portfolio. So yeah. Still completely confused on AMD. All right, bye. Sent. I'll wait for a re-entry. It'll give me one. So the worst part about that is, I hate to show you, but we were up 50% on the port and now we're up 38. This is painful. But part of the play. So up 100, now 77. That sucks. That's all right. When this gives me my 5er. The thing is, like, we're about to flip the hour. It is 10:17. So as you can see here, you can always see the time here, FYI. So that's that. This Tesla play, though, is really making me feel a little sick to my stomach. It's up 80%, which is $174. Could I have gotten further out? Probably. But it is what it is. It is what it is. AMD, we're going to have to wait. Like, we're obviously going to have something against us. We hit our target. Can't be too upset. Winners will win, so it will be alright. Yeah, I don't love what this 15er did, so we're going to have to wait for a proper re-entry on that. An average exit. Wish I would have exited like right when this triggered. So that was at like 222%. I got out at 200%. Okay. SPY. I'm moving this to like here. I want to see what SPY is doing. Okay, 15er still looks good. Don't want to worry about that. Okay. All that's fine. SMCI is doing its thing. Fine. Okay. How do I stop this? Okay.